At the University of South Carolina and a member of the Columbia SC63 initiative. On behalf of all of my colleagues who have worked closely over the past year to bring renewed attention to the Columbia Civil Rights legacy, I would like to welcome you and thank you for your presence here today on what promises to be an historic moment for our community. The Columbia 63 initiative is comprised of representatives of the City of Columbia, the University of South Carolina, the historic Columbia Foundation, and the Columbia Metropolitan Convention and Visitors Bureau. Its mission is to gather, preserve, and showcase images, artifacts, and testimony to ensure that a deeper understanding of the struggle for freedom and justice in our city is told. Today it is fitting, nearly 60 years ago, on the morning of June 22nd, 1954, nearly a month after the famous Brown v. Board decision, and over 14 months before famous incidents in Montgomery, Alabama with Rosa Parks, a native of this community, Sarah Mae Flemming, 20-year-old native of Eastover, on that morning she boarded the Melrose Heights bus at the corner of Gervais and Millwood. She took that bus to the corner of Main and Taylor, and there she got a transfer to the Rose Hill Line, the bus that would take her to her place of employment on Saluda Avenue. She was joined that morning by her friend and neighbor, Julia King. She boarded the bus, every seat was taken, so she stood. When the bus arrived to the corner of Main and Hampton Street, a passenger departed and Ms. Flemming took a seat. Today, we're here to honor Sarah Mae Flemming for taking that seat, and here at this intersection to honor her for bringing Columbia to an important crossroads. Her case that emerged from that moment went to the district courts, the Fourth Court of Appeals, and the United States Supreme Court. It was that case that was cited and regularly referred to during the course of the famous Montgomery bus boycott. Today, as we honor Sarah Mae Flemming, we also honor the brilliant legal work of Philip Wittenberg, of Lincoln C. Jenkins Jr., of Matthew J. Perry, and Robert Carter. We also honor the famed civil rights worker, Majeska Simpkins, the witnesses of that case, Ms. Julia King Murphy and Ms. Moselle Martin, who both testified on behalf of Ms. Flemming. We honor the brilliant journalist John H. McCrae. And we also honor the photographer who took the picture on your program, the great, extraordinary photographer, Mr. John Goodwin, who's here with us this morning. Thank you, sir. Today is June 28th, 2013. Today is the 80th birthday of Sarah Mae Flemming Brown. And today we're pleased to invite a number of individuals to speak about the significance of this woman and what occurred nearly 60 years ago. I'm very pleased to invite the Mayor of the City of Columbia, Steve Benjamin, followed by former Chair of the Richland County Council, Ms. Bernice Scott, to speak on behalf of the Flemming family, Ms. Asia Hall. Following those remarks, the Mayor will come back for a special announcement and will conclude with remarks from Rick Luber, who is head of the Columbia Metropolitan Convention and Visitors Bureau. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Dr. Donaldson. Imagine for a second, it's Tuesday morning, June 22nd, 1954. Sarah Mae Flemming is standing, waiting for a bus to take her to work. Her 21st birthday is just 6 days away, and maybe that's what she's thinking about, wondering if someone's planning a party or she'll get some time off to celebrate. Maybe she's thinking about the weather, this thick, humid head that covers Columbia from May to September, or maybe she's just preoccupied with the task at hand, planning the workday ahead of her. Just a few weeks earlier, the U.S. Supreme Court, led by Chief Justice Earl Warren, had issued its historic ruling in Brown versus the Board of Education, overturning nearly 60 years of precedent and declaring that, for the first time in history, that the old segregationist principle of separate but equal was unconstitutional. So it's possible that she was thinking about that, but she never could have imagined that in less than 2 years that Chief Justice Earl Warren would know her name, that the Supreme Court would be deciding her fate, that her actions would echo across our nation and across history. It's Tuesday morning, June 22nd, 1954, and Sarah Mae Flemming can't possibly imagine what's about to happen when she steps on that bus and takes the only open seat that she can find. She doesn't see it coming, the outrage and the humiliation, the shouting, the insults, the assault. She doesn't see it coming, but neither did they. They couldn't have imagined that this young woman from Eastover, South Carolina, beaten and cast aside, would have the courage to get up, the audacity to sue the bus company, and the steel spine to see it through, laying the foundation in action and in law for another woman in Montgomery, Alabama named Rosa Parks. You see, Sarah Mae Flemming wasn't looking for a fight, she wasn't looking for a cause, and she wasn't looking for history. History found her, and she chose to act. When the heavens opened up with a vision of terrible majesty and the full host of angels, and God himself stood before Isaiah, Isaiah was awestruck and frightened. He cried out, "Woe is me, for I am undone, for I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For mine eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts." He was a sinner, just like each and every one of us, small, insignificant, and imperfect before the full glory of heaven. He was terrified and shaken. But when the Lord asked, "Whom shall I send? Who will go for us?" Isaiah gathered his strength to stand and said, "I will. Here am I, Lord, send me. Here am I, send me." Sarah Mae Flemming wasn't looking for a fight. She wasn't looking for a cause, and she was not looking for history. History found her. God called her, and she answered, "Here am I, Lord, send me." So we come here today to mark this spot as a turning point and to honor her and all those like her right here in Columbia, South Carolina, and across the nation, many whose names have been lost to the fabric of history, to say thank you for risking everything to create a new world of opportunity for all of us. Thank you.
Good morning. Giving honor to Almighty God, He's truly head of my life. And Kevin Washington, who's the chairman of Richland County Council, is home sick, and he asked me 10 minutes ago to say a few words on behalf of the group. I see Mr. Manning over there from the County Council, and any more council members are here, but Mr. Manning is here. I want to talk from the heart because I knew Ms. Flemming. And you know, God called some people and some people just went. Sarah was called a long time ago because she really could take water and turn it into wine. That's how hard she worked. Anything that she put her mind to, she did it. Her mother died at an early age. Sarah helped all her brothers and sisters and have kids herself. She helped the whole community. There was nothing too good that Sarah had that she could not share and would not share. Those are the kind of people that is in our lives that make our lives so much better. Our young people have a lot to stand up to when they look at Sarah Mae Flemming. And when you look back at that picture, Barbara Bush did not have anything on her with the pearls. Sarah had pearls back then too, so she was the first one to wear pearls other than Barbara Bush. So she was a real, honest, hard-working woman who always stood for what was right. I don't care if Odell did something in school and it was wrong, she would tell him it's wrong. And then if he did something that was right, she would go to the schoolhouse and tell the teacher why it was right. That's the kind of person she was. That's the kind of person that we need in our communities all across this United States, because people are not sincere no more. People are not caring anymore. She was a lovely, caring person with everything that she did. Her kids, Wanda and Bruce, and Sarah used to have me laughing all the time about when Wanda baby born, John, her husband, wanted to say that it was his baby because the baby didn't look like him. So they were in the grocery store one day and said, Sarah, said the lady said, "Oh, what a cute little baby you have." And it said John, the husband, stuck his chest out and said, "Yeah." Sarah said, "No, that's not his baby, our baby, that's our grandbaby." John said, burst her bubble right then. But that's the kind of person she was. She did not stand for anything that she knew that wasn't right. And on that day, when that guy put her off that bus and hit her, he didn't understand what God had in store for Sarah. You know, all of us have endured a lot of stuff, but Sarah knew that one day something is going to happen with this because she took it all the way to the Supreme Court. And that's the kind of person that we need in our community. On behalf of Richland County Council, I'm not there anymore. I stayed 20 years, thank you, Jesus. And I did a good job. And on behalf of Kevin Washington and the entire Richland County Council, we want to thank everyone for coming, and especially the family, Wanda, Bruce, Odell, Matakaya, and the sister who now ran away from Eastover and staying uptown now. Ernestine, that's right. And all the family, we want to thank y'all too for being here. And it's so important to let our kids see Sarah Mae Flemming and what she did. And one day we'll have another Sarah Mae Flemming coming up. We got another little Sarah back there. So we want to thank God for everybody. Thank you so much. And now we will have the Asia Hall, the granddaughter, will come up and say some words about her grandmother. Asia.
Hebrews 6:10 states that God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him as you have helped his people and continue to help them. My grandmother, Sarah Mae Flemming, is being honored today as a civil rights trailblazer because God did not forget her work. It is with great honor and pleasure to stand here today and witness this monumental event. On behalf of Sarah Mae Flemming's family, we would like to thank everyone who recognized her heroic efforts. Your hard work and dedication to bring her story to the forefront is greatly appreciated and beyond words can express. Special thanks to the Columbia SC 63 Committee, the Historic Columbia Foundation, the University of South Carolina, and the Columbia Metropolitan Convention and Visitors Bureau. Thank you and God bless.
I know that we have a number of public officials here, of course, joined by a senior council member and dear friend and mentor, Sam Davis here, who's been an integral piece of this Columbia SC 63 effort. I want to thank Robin Waits and Dr. Donaldson, their stewardship to the Historic Columbia Foundation, helping us pull together all the wonderful contributions of the people of the Midlands over the last several hundred years. See, County Councilman Jim Manning is here with us. Judge Lincoln Jenkins, his father was integral to the civil rights movement here. Then with Dalton Tresvant and John Rickenbacker, representing Congressman Clyburn, who I know so wanted to be here today. Leaders from our chamber and our Columbia Council neighborhoods and our Business Improvement District. I want to thank the folks from AT&T who did have the foresight in 2008 to recognize the contributions of Ms. Flemming Brown on the calendar, the African American History calendar. And last but certainly not least, I want to recognize former City Councilman Luther Batiste, who has been and continues to be an integral piece of all the things that we do to recognize the contributions of all people to the wonderful history of Columbia, South Carolina. We did have the opportunity a few weeks ago and wanted to formally present this resolution to the family today, approving the honorary renaming of this street, Sarah Mae Flemming Way. And I'm going to give this, who should I present it to? Asia? You want to accept on behalf of the family? All y'all. They're not listening to you. Don't come on. Don't come on. Come on. Hold it. All family. All family. Come on. Then are we going to go ahead and Ooh, I didn't realize all the family was And are we going to, Bobby, we'll go ahead and float? Are we any other presentations? Or are we going to go ahead and do that part? Oh, sorry. Rick will come out all the time. All right. Yeah, your pictures. What's this? No, okay. Go ahead and get your pictures. All right. All right. Figure out who's gonna pull the string. Come on.
I'm gonna set this right
Oh
here.
yeah, absolutely. Yes, ma'am. I'd love to invite Rick Luber up, the CEO of our Greater Columbia Convention Center and Convention Visitors Bureau, who's done a great job helping us market all the wonderful events that we've been having this year. He and his team at Kim Jameson. Rick, you want to close us out? Yep.
Thank you all for being here and the family. And we're into telling people about this community. We have 4 million visitors that come here each year. And this is part of the history that we're going to talk about. And it's a point of pride now for this community where we are 50, 60 years later. I think this is a wonderful community. This is a story that will be told, and you need to tell your children and remind people in this community to talk about where we were, where we are now, and where we're going. So we appreciate the family and everybody being here. We want to thank the 63 committee for all the work that they've done. Also, we want to thank Rick Patel because he's going to have a reception in the lower level of the Sheraton right across the street. So if everybody would like to go over there now and have an opportunity to meet and talk with the family. So again, thank you all for being here and have a great day.